I was so excited for these to come out. I got my hands on them as soon as I could, and I am not disappointed. e.l.f. is just killing it. These are actually great for fair, cool tone skin. Beauty wands in general, I haven't found many, I haven't found any that are actually good for fair, cool tone skin. So let's try these on, give you my first impressions. They're not exactly my first impressions. I have tried them and I love them. So let me show you. I believe these are only like $9. So worth it. Okay, so let's start with contour. I don't usually do contour. I'm fair enough that trying to find a really good contour is just, it's not been easy. And frankly, it's not something that I felt like I needed a whole lot, but you know, it is nice to have that option when I do want to actually sculpt and change the shape of my face a little bit. Let's go ahead and try this one on. This is the Fair wand. And these you squeeze instead of turning. And there we go. It's truly cool. Yes. So they go on fairly nice and wet, but I found that when you work them out on your skin, you have to work a little bit quick with them. They do dry pretty quick. I've heard other people say that they don't, and maybe in comparison to something else they don't, but I find that you got to work with them pretty quickly. I'm going to go directly on my face with the wand, and then I'm going to use a brush to work it out. I just did another video where I used my fingers. You can do it either way. I'm doing a brush because I already did it the other way, so let's see. All right. So it goes on nice and smooth, very, very easy. So one of the issues that I always have is that I find that contour looks like dirt on my face. And even this cool one, I still sort of feel that way. So what I end up doing is really, really shearing it out and trying to make it look more. I'm going to use a different brush because this one's just a little bit too dense. I like to use another brush to shear this out. That is just me. I'm not a huge contour person, but I do like having the option of a contour. All right, so there we go. You can still see there's a shadow there, and it's not pink. Well, there's a little bit of pink because anytime you touch my skin, it turns pink, but that's my skin. That's not the product. But it does give you some shape and definition. On this side, I'm just wearing this one, the highlighter, which has some pink to it from earlier. But you can see there's not that more, a little bit brown undertoned shape there. I'm gonna give it, just for testing purposes, I probably wouldn't wear it this way, but I want to show you what it can do. You can build it up. So let's go a little bit more. And I'm going to use my fingers just to get it exactly where I want it so that it gives me sort of a cheekbone. I have a cheekbone, it's just not a super defined one. That's okay. There we go. I think that looks really nice and natural. So that's the Fair wand, really easy to work with. Love that you can shear it out and make it not look like you have a big chunk of dirt on your face. They have lots of blushes. Most of them are warm, but they did have one that was about neutral to a tiny bit cool, this berry one. Berry Radiant. This one, same thing. It's a little bit dry when you actually work with it. I'm sure, there we go. Like if you squeeze really hard, it's got sheen to it. It's a really pretty color. This one is totally buildable. And if you were to put a ton on your face, it would probably be wet, but this is too dark for me to put a ton on my face. So I go conservative just because I'm so fair. If you use it conservatively, work fast with it because it does dry down pretty quick. So let's do it. So I'm gonna start with just this. Again, I'm fair, so I don't need that much. There we go. So pretty. On me, if I just use the one little layer of it, it just looks like I am flushed. And it's got sheen to it, but I'm gonna add more sheen to it by putting their beautiful highlighter on it. I think if I had to say which one is my absolute favorite, their highlighter is so pretty. This one I will probably use all the time. This one is Rose Quartz. And this one is probably the juiciest of them, the softest one. And that is truly cool, but it's pink. Perfect for what I'm always looking for. Gorgeous and very easy to work with. This one, great with your fingers or with a brush. Let's do the brush on this side. And this one is also, what I really like about it is you can go really diffused and natural with it, which is beautiful. Or you can really go hard with it and you can get that like icy shine. I'm gonna do just a little bit more and then I'm gonna use my fingers. I really appreciate that you can use either your fingers or a brush and you get really good results either way. And I also really appreciate that these are so easy to work with and you can make them look very, very natural. If you want them to be bright and punchy, you can totally do that too. So they build. But for somebody with a really, really light skin tone like me, even this is darker than I would probably wear in real life. I'm gonna tone this down. I'm gonna add probably a little more foundation, a little more powder, just so that it looks like I'm flushed, it looks natural, it doesn't look like I have blush on. That's just my preference. But that's one of the wonderful things about this formula. Totally adjustable, really is gonna work for a lot of people. Like $9 a wand, are you kidding me? So good. So yeah, this is the side where I just have some of the highlighter on, which is probably, because the highlighter has some pink, that's enough for me to be a blush. So I will probably wear it like this most of the time, but you can see how all of the products together do work to give you the kind of look that you might want. I'm gonna go ahead, just for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse this completely out, more like how I would wear it. This brush already has just a little bit of foundation on it. There we go. For me, I don't like having a line where my different products are. I try not to. Sometimes you end up with it like that anyway. See, like this side, I'm getting ready to take my kid to go get a filling. There we go. I'm still gonna have to even these out eventually, but I think you can see really, really well how these products perform, how the colors look on very, very fair skin with a cool tone. They're great. This is why I was so excited when I heard that e.l.f. was going to be putting these out, and then I saw the color swatches. I was like, yes, finally something for me. And absolutely, it totally is. So I hope that helps. I highly recommend you go out and get these before they're sold out. They're gonna be sold out for sure. They're just too good a deal and they're too pretty. So highly recommend those. Let me know if you have any other questions about them and how they perform, etc., that I haven't addressed here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. I'm hoping to reach more people and share more awesome beauty finds. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm headed off to the dentist.